So with the 2025 season only a couple of days away from starting, it's time to go through the predictions for the Grand Slams for next year. Now, over the last couple of weeks, I've let you guys vote for your picks, so let's see who you picked, and also I'll tell you who I picked. So starting with the Australian Open, which is only a month away, or less than a month away. On the women's side, you guys went with Sabalenka to go 3 in a row. She's obviously won the last 2, and also number 1 in the world. And I've also gone with Sabalenka to win the 3rd in a row at the Australian Open. It's so hard not to pick her because she's been so good on hard courts, not just at the Australian Open, but also US Open last year. And she's the best player on the planet right now. So both of us gone Sabalenka. On the men's side, you've gone Jannik Sinner for the Australian Open to go back-to-back. And I've also gone Jannik Sinner to go back-to-back in Australia, of course. We don't know whether or not he's going to be able to play after the Australian Open because of the ban situation or the WADA appeal. So this is a great chance for him to get a slam before that potential problem comes up. But we've gone the same here. And after last year's season, I mean, how can you not pick Sinner for that tournament at least? Heading over to Roland Garros now, the second slam of the year. And you guys have picked Iga Swiatek to go 4 in a row at Roland Garros. She's won 4 of the last 5. So a really decent pick there. And I've also gone Iga Swiatek. I mean, she's undefeated there for so long. I know she did lose at the Olympics at this venue to Zhang, but when it comes to the Grand Slam Roland Garros, she has not lost many matches. So both of us going with her, very understandable. On the men's side of things, you guys are going with Alcaraz to go back-to-back at Roland Garros. He just won the final and also the semi-final last year at this event. So, you know, Sinner and Zverev obviously going to be big favorites as well. But I also picked Alcaraz to go back-to-back. I think him on clay, especially if he's healthy, because remember last season, he only played 1 warm-up event before Roland Garros, and then obviously went on to win the tournament, Wimbledon as well, and then also the Olympic silver medal. So I've also gone Alcaraz. So far, we've picked exactly the same for the first 2 slams of the year. All right, now to Wimbledon for the women, and this is always a very tough one because over the years, it has not been consistent. Pretty much since Serena retired, Wimbledon's been up in the air and anyone can win it. You guys have gone with Rybakina to win this one. Of course, a former champion, and also made the semifinals last year, so not a bad pick at all. I've gone with Sabalenka, and the reason why is because she hasn't been able to play this event that much. Remember, the event wasn't held in 2020. In 2021, I think she made the semifinals. 2022, she got banned. 2023, she made the semis. And last year, in 2024, she was injured. So I'm going to go with Sabalenka. If she gets to play this event, I'm backing her to win finally because she deserves a Wimbledon in her trophy cabinet. Over on the men's side of things, you've gone with Jannik Sinner for Wimbledon. Great pick. I think a few of you might have even considered picking him last year for Wimbledon. And obviously, with his last 12 months, he's been so good on hard courts. And if he wasn't sick against Medvedev at Wimbledon last year, who knows what would have happened. But I've gone with something different. I'm going Novak Djokovic to win Wimbledon. Maybe I'm a little nostalgic. Maybe I'm a little optimistic. But I'm also wary that Sinner might be banned. So I'm kind of, I guess, making my pick on the fact that Sinner might not be around for Wimbledon if he does get a 6-month ban, which is possible. And I've also not picked Alcaraz because even though he's won the last 2, I feel like a 3-peat at Wimbledon is so hard to do that it might not be him, and you guys obviously haven't picked a 3-peat either. So I'm going to go with Djokovic, maybe a fairy tale at Wimbledon. He's made the final on 1 leg last year, so I'm going to go with Nole for this one. And then the US Open, the final slam of the year for you guys. You picked Sabalenka to go back-to-back at the US Open. Obviously had a great run there in 2024 and won both the hardcourt slams, and you're going to say that she's going to do the same this year. But I've gone with Coco Gauff, and I reckon even though she was a little bit disappointing in the 2024 US Open, losing to Navarro, I reckon she'll get it back together. And the way she ended 2024, I feel like 2025, she's going to win a slam somewhere, and I feel like at home is her best chance, especially because she's won it before. So I'm going to go with Gauff to win the US Open. Over on the men's side of things, at the US Open, you pick Sinner again. So Sinner 3 out of the 4 slams in 2025 is what you guys picked, the majority anyway of you guys picked. But again, I've gone with something different. I'm going to go with Zverev to pick up his first slam at the US Open. I mean, I was tempted to pick him at Roland Garros, but I feel like at the end of the year, US Open, he's been in the final before. And if he can avoid Taylor Fritz, maybe he can get the win there. But that is what I'm going with. 4 different champions this year. And mainly, I'm kind of banking on the fact that I don't know if Sinner's going to be able to play the entire season after this WADA appeal case goes through. So there it is. They are the predictions for both the men and the women's Grand Slams. Let me know down in the comments below, what are your predictions? And then this time next year, we'll go through them and see who was the closest. Last year, I did all right. I got 2 out of the 4 for the men and 2 out of the 4 for the ladies. So I don't know if I can ever do that again, but let's see what happens. I mean, the Australian Open and Retro Open, we seem to be on the same page. But I've gone a little bit different towards the end of the year. And like I said, the US Open and Wimbledon for the ladies does kind of throw up random champions. I mean, last year, Krejcikova, who would have thought she was going to win Wimbledon? But there it is, Grand Slam predictions for 2025. Season starts in a few days.